Good evening. Welcome to the Holy Spirit Blog Talk Radio Show. I'm your host, Minister J.L. Hart, and I thank you all for tuning in. We have a wonderful show scheduled for you this evening on this wonderful spring-like weather. Wonderful show that we're talking about black women and the plight of the black woman, but not only that, the genocide of the black man. Because, as we all know, when God created the earth, God actually created woman before he created man. I know the Bible tells us about Adam and Eve, and the woman came out of a rib and all those the allegories, and yet when we look at in the beginning, before the Bible, the first woman, it has been discovered some 4 million years ago. The first person on the planet was a woman, and she was in Africa, and therefore we know she was a woman, an African woman, a woman of color, melanoid woman, if you will. And God's intention has always been that we, as a people, would multiply, subdue the earth, and have dominion, but do it under the guidance of family. Not single mothers, not single dads, but in the unity and the guidance of family. The Trinity, the Father, the Mother, Father, and the Son. And I don't want to discuss or get into any biblical principles at this time. I'm just giving you the facts of what science have proven beyond the Bible, as I just stated. So we're going to be talking today about black women and how black women are passing everybody when it comes to graduation, when it comes to landing corporate jobs, the jobs dealing with science and astronomy and NASA, and creating new inventions and so forth. But black women are leading the pack over white males and white females, to say the least. And yet at the same time, these incredible women of God are making the least amount of money. I got a wonderful friend of mine who works for an IT company, an advertising company, that is, and on this company, you got women making, white women that is, making 6-7 figures. And she's barely making enough money to pay her own bills and her student loan. And yet these women are working half a days. These white women, I'm saying, they only work a full day. And every 2 to 3 months they go on vacation for 10 days or so. So what my goal is tonight is to urge the black women, you got to start creating your own business and dealing with your own people. And we're going to talk a little bit in a minute about, I think her name was Deanna Jordan, graduated with 3 degrees, I believe it was, and she's a single mother with 3 kids out of UCLA. And this sister just graduated recently, a few weeks ago, from I think this weekend it was, from the UCLA. But as we know, there are hundreds of thousands of black women that are graduating with 4, 5, 6 kids and getting PhDs and major degrees. And then I want to also talk about 2 other things. HBCUs and Ivy League versus Ivy League colleges, and then this issue with the black man beating down his black woman, and then you gonna get mad when you see a black woman, educated black woman with a white man saying, "Oh, she a sellout." No, she ain't no sellout. You ran over there, sitting there listening to all them sissies, Chris Brown and Drake and Lil Wayne, treating black women like cesspools. Now, don't get me wrong. We got our share of hoochies out there, but there are far more black women doing great things and big things than the hoochies that those guys are rapping about. There's far more black women doing greater things and bigger things that nobody, Snoop Dogg, none of them can say one damn positive word about. And mind you, all these idiots, Kanye West and all these jackasses, Jay-Z, they got girls. And I call that a faggot way of making a living. Degrading a black woman is how you make a living. And then you want to get on a stage and thank God. Thank God for what? For being a jackass? A sellout? A house Negro? Because that's what you are. That's what you are. And guys, listen. Don't forget we have a wonderful conference coming up June 26, 2016 at the JS Venue Plus out here outside of Atlanta in Monroe, Georgia. The address is 1355 Mount Zion Road, Monroe, Georgia. It's going to be on a Sunday from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. It's called Family Matters, Black Dollars Matters. And we have a wonderful guest of speakers that I'm still getting people calling in. I had a wonderful conversation with a brother today, a financial advisor, a brother named Marcus Meadows. And he won't be able to attend the conference, but me and him have come together, and we're going to be doing a wonderful segment called Financial Fridays. And we're going to be doing this we haven't finalized it yet, but it's either going to be every other Friday or every Friday that we're going to be talking about finances and how black folks can start putting their money where their mouth is and investing in their communities, but not only that, but in their families. This thing is crucial, man, and this brother was blowing my mind today with stuff I had no idea about what's going on globally. I thought I knew, but thank God that there's always something to learn. And I'm telling you, man, it's genocide, particularly on the black man. And here I am doing a show uplifting black women, and yet he's telling me that the brothers are out there selling out his own woman to the white man. And that's exactly what white supremacists need you to do, is sell your women out. So when they come to annihilate you and kill you, that nobody will come to your rescue. Because once you lose the black woman's support, what the hell else you got? That's why I say it's faggotry. That with all these guys, I know you guys love Jay-Z and all. Oh, Jay-Z, he just bought this. What did they damn do? That Negro ain't doing nothing for black people. So stop tooting his damn horn. I hope you guys can attend this conference, man. And listen, if you can't attend, we're asking for donations or sponsorship dealing with this conference. If you have a business that you may want to donate $50, and we will add your name and your business to that sponsorship. If you want to go ahead and donate, go to that either that GoFundMe page, or you can donate from the Eventbrite page and write down your information or email us, and we will certainly add your name to the sponsorship of this conference. This conference is going to be a monthly conference, people. It's not a one-time thing. And Family Matters is initially dealing with renewing the mind of a renewed mind, because before we can begin to do business, we got to have a renewed mind and understanding and overstanding. But my whole thing is God-centered. All these other guys who are out there are telling you to bring your money and bring this, and they're showing you how to invest your money. That's a wonderful thing. And we certainly support everybody, all our brothers and or sisters that are doing that. But I'm here to tell you, if you don't have a renewed mind and God centered, as soon as you see a struggle, you're going to pull the hell out. You're going to back the hell out and you're going to pull out. And that's why we're starting with a renewed mind and not just, hey, let's do this and let's go in, and not knowing where we stand on the basis of God, on the basis of family and family structure, on the basis of community and unity. We got to get an understanding and overstanding of that first, and then we go in and this time when we begin to rule and reign, we do it forever, and not for 2-3 years, and all of a sudden somebody fall out with somebody and then they move on. And even if we do agree to disagree, we do it in love and understanding, and we hold our brothers and sisters still up and support our brothers and or sisters. This is God, man. God's will, not man's will. This is God's will. And that's why we're so adamant about and asking you guys to share this thing. If you're in the Atlanta area, please come out to this wonderful conference. Before the conference, between 3 and 4 p.m., we're going to have a guest panel with a lot of diverse professionals from law, from at-risk counseling, from law enforcement, financial advising, healthcare, ministers and pastors, leaders in the community that will be on that panel. And we're going to be discussing how can we get this thing back together? How can we have a family structured environment in our community, and how can these communities begin to grow? So won't you join us June 26th at the JS Venue Plus, man. And again, share, and share. All right? So this wonderful article that I read about this beautiful sister who just graduated, single mother of 3, graduates from UCLA with 3 degrees. Her name is Deanna Jordan. Well, this actually happened last year, but there was another sister who graduated last week, and her name slips me. But even so, Deanna Jordan graduated. She's a 28-year-old mother. She got 3 boys. And so many people packed the house to really support this sister. And what Deanna said about graduating and really not giving up, she said, I needed for my sons to see there was a legacy that preceded them to college. I am the first in my family to go to college, Miss Jordan said. She grew up in Compton. And after high school, she got pregnant with her first son at 18, and by the age of 22, she had already had a 3rd son. And it's so amazing that she decided not to be a statistic and began to enroll herself after being at the Los Angeles Community College for 3.5 years. 2 years she went ahead and went to enrolled in UCLA, Department Scholar, and while graduating with 2 bachelor's degrees and a master's in African American Studies. So awesome, man. She also founded the Compton Pipeline Task Force. And what she does is she works with young at-risk kids and poor kids in the community, starting with elementary schools, and her alma mater elementary school called Carver Elementary School. And she is mentoring and getting these kids focused on having a life beyond high school and beyond the walls of Compton. What an awesome thing that this sister has done to uplift herself and not just her, but her community. And my point is, this sister, I mean, 5-6 years of college, 2 years in community college and 4 years in UCLA, 3 kids, single mother. That's a load right there. And then you take time to create a task force to help young kids particularly young boys growing up in the community that you grew up in. That's what we're talking about. People are so busy on Facebook, and this angers me, man. Trying to get a hustle, trying to make quick dollars for themselves and for their families, and post, oh, this is my daughter, whatever. Man, it takes a village. You can't just be in business for yourself. You got to think beyond that. And this sister didn't have money to give right at this moment, but what she gave was her life and her soul, and what she's giving continuously, a legacy that's giving to her community and all the young people in Compton, where she grew up with, to take this initiative and start a program and continue to move forward. That's an awesome thing, man. That's a God thing. That's a God-centered thing. And you don't find too many black folk doing this kind of thing. Mind you, she ain't no celebrity. She's just an average sister. But what she is an extraordinary. She's beyond celebrity. She's extraordinary. And I salute Deanna Jordan. They ought to have a damn Deanna Jordan Day out there in Compton every damn year. I'm telling you, if anybody from California is listening, matter of fact, I'm going to write the mayor of Compton, celebrating this thing, man. That is awesome. And that's why, and that's she's the inspiration that keeps me focused on what I'm doing and not getting side, because everybody keep coming to me saying, hey, you can brand your show and make a lot of money doing this, doing that. I'm like, I'm gonna try. Listen, I'm on a mission. I have a purpose. Yeah, I need to make money. I'm not crazy, but it's God's will that's moving me, and not just a hustle. Ain't no damn hustle. It's God's will. And I'm so thankful and so honored to be a part of this will, of God's will. So awesome. This wonderful YouTube video. Not YouTube, but this thing I'm going to play for you is talking about educated black women are undervalued. I'm going to play this thing for you in just 1 second. But the reason why I want to play it for you is, I mean, of course, because of the content. But that's the same damn thing Malcolm X said back in 50 years ago. What did he say? The most underrated person, the most undervalued person, the most disrespected person on the planet is the black woman. Malcolm X said that 50 damn years ago. Now here we are 50 years later, seeing the same ignorance. This is crazy, man. Crazy. Okay, I'm having difficulties playing this piece, but what it is there was a report that came out that said black women have become the most educated group in the U.S. and it came out a few days ago, and it's according to the National Center for Education Statistics. It says black women have recently emerged as the most educated population of people by race and gender in the United States, and that makes them a powerful force in the political business realm. And you look at from 1999, 2000 to 2009 and 2010, the percentage of degrees earned by females remained between approximately 60 to 62% for associate degrees and between 57 and 58% for bachelor degrees. In contrast, the percentage of both master's and doctorate degrees earned by females increased from 1999 all the way to 2010. Within each racial ethnic group, women earned the majority of degrees at all levels in 2009-2010. And for example, in the U.S., resident black females earned 68% of associate degrees, 66% of bachelor degrees, and 71% of master degrees, and 65% of all doctor degrees awarded to black students. The number of degrees that have been awarded to racial minorities in the U.S. has been on the rise for the past 2 decades. And no, it doesn't mean that racial minorities are trying to take over the U.S. That most white supremacists would claim. It just means that many of the barriers that prevented black women from getting an education have began to recede. And one thing about that is, unfortunately, is a lot of black women, because if you look at the shows, there's a pro and con with this surge of black women getting these degrees, because if you look at the shows now on television, Being Mary Jane, Scandal, and so on and so forth, a lot of the shows that have black women as a lead role or co-host role or what have you, as you can see, the black women are single, don't have a man. And unfortunately, they're also promiscuous. But they're educated. And so, you got to understand that Hollywood sees this already before you do. Because all this thing, Hollywood and the media, it all is tied into the global elites, white supremacy. So in order to make sure these black women don't be joined with these black men and don't have that unity that I talked about earlier, they're giving them a sense of independence of saying, I don't need a man. And I'm proud to be black. I'm educated. I got money. I got my own house. I can do this all by myself. And if I do decide to lay around, they're gonna be with a white man. You look at ESPN. The black women that are on that show, and there's about 4 or 5, the majority of them either married or dating white men. Again, single black female. You look around you with all the celebrities, Janet Jackson, Eve. Look who they married to or attached themselves to. Naomi Campbell, Tyra Banks, Vanessa Williams, who I so much adore. I mean, she's my Lena Horne, Halle Berry, Beyonce. Married to a white. I mean, she was married to a couple of black guys, but married to a white man. You see where I'm going with this thing? You got to be very, very, very mindful, man, that the enemy somehow, some way, gonna continue to keep you divided. These white men and these global elites don't want black families to grow from this, because that's fear, and that shows they're taking over, or we taking over. So black women have to be very, very mindful, and the downfall of this is this: these black women are having these degrees, and we're going to talk about money in just a minute. They're getting these degrees, and where are they going? They're going to white corporations to work. And who's at white corporations? Predominantly white men. So they're surrounded 8 to 10 hours a day by nothing but white men, going to lunch with them, going to drink with them, hanging out with them. And all you're doing is going home, going to work, and every now and then you hang out with your girlfriends. You're bound to go out to start seeing white men in a different perspective. Because now your circle, you know, you don't see brothers because you're not going to the sports bars in the hood, or even if you do go, you no longer even look at a black man anymore. Because in your mind, in your psyche, now you inadvertently believe that he can't do nothing for you anyway. He's not on your level. You got to be very mindful, people. Very mindful. I mean, black women are getting Ivy League degrees. I mean, they're handing them out now like free tickets to a Braves game. But none of these women are creating jobs or creating black businesses for their people. Some are, don't get me wrong, but far too many, because the American dream is, and I always say the American dream is the American nightmare. Because the American dream tells you to do what? Go spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on your own education and then settle yourself comfortably into a $45,000, $50,000 a year job, struggling, trying to pay back your student loans and pay that damn mortgage that you stuck with. That's not an American dream. That's a nightmare. I tell black folks all the time, especially Christian folk, what did God tell you? To have life, have it more abundantly. That means anything God gives you, you're not paying for it. Ain't no 30-year mortgage. Are you out of your mind? And you bought that? God ain't got nothing to do with what man does. And you thinking that, well, yeah, we got a nice house out here, yeah, in Alpharetta, we are blessed. You're not blessed. You enslaved. And you made this society your slave master. Because now you got that nice car, that nice home, and that student loan, you in debt. You indebted to paying that thing until you die. And what that does, it kills a part of you and your spirit every single day. Because whatever purpose God had for your life, you can't fulfill it now. You better wake up and stop being an idiot and fall into these damn traps. Ain't got nothing to do with God.
90 seconds.
You go around here talking about, oh yeah, I'm blessed. I'm too blessed. Are you out of your ever loving mind? That ain't got nothing to do with God. You being a sucker for society. Out of your mind. So this article about the
60 seconds.
About the black woman and the fact that black women are breaking all these barriers, but they still not getting compensated for it. Wonderful article that was written by Bryce Covert in the Think Progress, an article in Think Progress. Covert wrote this article actually a couple of years ago, but there's another article that came out a few days ago saying the same thing, but it probably got its information from this old article because it's almost repeating the same thing. But it talks about how black women are graduating, attending college, and participating in the labor force, and they're starting businesses at a higher rate, but they still aren't seeing the rewards of their hard work. And this is from a poll from the Black Women's Roundtable.
10 seconds.
The Black Women's Roundtable, and it talks about the Women Initiative of National Coalition on Black Civic Participation. It talks about young black women are increasing in the high school graduation rate and college rate over the past 50 years, actually, and virtually eliminating the gap with the Asian women. So black women have passed the Asian women on graduation. Isn't that awesome? And significantly narrowing the gap with white women. But the gap between the rates of black women and white women has shrunk from 22% in the 60s. They've also decreased their dropout rates, particularly in the recent years. In 2006, 12% of black women dropped out of high school. That number has declined consistently up until 2011, which is now around 6.4%. But as they keep excelling after graduate, as they have from the beginning of their experience in America, black women lead all women in labor force participation rates. According to the report, the labor force participation rates is higher than all women in that country is to be true, even after they become mothers. They are also even They are also very entrepreneurial, starting businesses at 6 times the national average and representing the fastest growing segment of women-owned businesses. And black women own more than 1 million firms, employ 272,000 people other than themselves, and generate an estimate of $44.9 billion in revenue. These are black women. An annual, collectively, black women generate $44.9 billion in revenue. But even as they've been working harder on their education and starting more businesses, black women aren't seeing higher returns. While women working full-time on the average make about 77% of what man make, black women make 64% of what man makes. And in 2010, single black women's median wealth or income and assets minus obligations was just $100 compared to single white women's $41,500, and almost half had zero or negative wealth. Even though they participated in the workforce at elevated rates, black women are stuck in a low-paying work. They are more likely than any other group in America to work for poverty-level wages, thereby making them the most likely of all Americans to be among the working poor. The report notes they also experience high unemployment rates with a 9.9% rate compared to a 5.1% for white women. And then while they are starting more businesses, they get less funding and make less money. Race and gender bias intersect to limit access to traditional capital for black women. The report says black small business owners are being left out of small business loans in the aftermath of recession, and they are getting few federal contracts. Meanwhile, women-owned companies get a very small share of venture capital funding, and investors are more likely to give money to men. And they also trail other women in revenues, getting just 6% of all revenues generated by women-owned businesses. White women, on the other hand, net 29%. And these problems follow black women into their retirement years when they have the lowest level of household income for any demographic group over 65 and will experience poverty at a rate more than 5 times that experienced by white men, and 16% versus 3%. And this is all thanks to the fact that they have lower earnings and wealth throughout their lives, are less likely to or able to put money away in retirement plans, and are overrepresented among those who go into their retirement years without a spouse or with a disability. Wonderful article. I just wanted to read that to you because it's just alarming that black women are doing big things and great things, and again, we salute our sisters tremendously for all the work that they do, particularly raising these kids, man. You know, especially raising these kids, because you know, they're not getting much help rearing these kids. And yet, as we see in this article, you know, black women, as far as getting degrees and graduating, they have exceeded the Asian people. That's huge. That's huge. And yet, our sisters are having difficulty getting a decent wage when it comes to making a living after having masters and bachelor's and doctorate degrees. Still, they are the lowest paid. Again, underrated, undervalued, disrespected. And then you throw on top of it all these Negroes from Christian to conscious community are consistently degrading black women over and over and over, time and time again. You're watching, I'm watching all these, I call them sissies, on Facebook. A woman can be talking about a content or about something serious as sexual abuse. Some Negro get on her page and say, man, look at her hair. What the hell are you doing looking at her hair when she's talking about something else? Are you really a man? Or are you a sissy? What man? I mean, they talking about how fat she is, her makeup, her hair, her lipstick too red, and what man does that? What grown ass man sits on social media and start typing in something about her hair? That's that perversion you got from slavery, postpartum slavery. from being raped by your masters. And then you have that same perverted mindset that every time you see your own people, especially a black woman, you see degradation, humiliation, and tearing her down. That's what that is. That's a sissy. That's a sissy. All day, every day. And I'm telling you, if you don't, I'm talking to black men, if you don't begin to wake the hell up, wake your ass up, and support these sisters before you lose them, because I'm telling you, it's biblical. What did Pharaoh do when he saw the people rise? He stood down a memo. Hey, I want y'all to kill everybody, every boy under 2 years of age. Knock them off. And here your dumb ass is running your sisters away from you, while you got the government and the CDC, and it's documented, putting out certain types of vaccines only for black boys, for them to have difficulty having kids, mess with their minds. And mind you, these vaccines are time release, all the way up until his adolescence. They're releasing these things. Cancer. All of a sudden, black folks are leading people in cancer. When some decades ago, black folk didn't have cancer. That was a white man disease. Here it is, they're trying to kill your ass off, and you sitting there bouncing your bottom of your head, grown ass men, 18 and up. Oh, that bitch, that bitch, that bitch. And it's repetitive in your mind, and you're speaking that negativity into your spirit. And then you got a girlfriend, and as soon as you have or a wife, and as soon as you have an issue with her, what you've been speaking to your spirit from listening to all this faggotry music, you think the same thing about your wife, that bitch, that hoe. You go to your homeboys and you talk that way about your own wife. And it's all over mind control. These niggas are paid, I say niggas, are paid to rap negativity about family, about love, about unity, to feed your dumb ass spirit. And here you are with a degree and a master's, and you bobbing your head on the weekend to that stuff, rolling around in your car with your kids in the back seat, and calling that swag. That ain't swag, that's fag all day long. I salute the black women, all of them, even the ones on the pole. I lift them up, and I speak life until every last one of them. They are the mother of the earth. You can't deny that. You can't take that from them. Test tube babies and all. You can't take that from them. They are the original, the queens of this earth, and they ruled the earth before the man did. And the biggest mistake they did is let man rule. Because look where we are now. And God is shifting this thing back to balance. Because you got to have the mother, the father, the son, and the men think it's about men. That's gay. And I'm not talking about in terms of gay, homosexuality. I'm talking about that's an idiotic way of thinking. When you got to have women and men, you thinking it's all about you and just men. Are you out of your damn mind? You need that balance. And God gave you that balance, and you trying to make it lopsided. You know why? Again, going back to your slave masters. That's what they taught you. That's why they added stuff in the Bible about Adam and Eve, and Father, Son, and Holy Ghost, because they were so male chauvinist. They took the women out of it. they took the woman out of it. And you know why? Because they know that woman was a black woman. You better do your research. Be on that Bible. And stop fooling yourself. Listen, my time is up. I want to come on just for a minute, man, and talk about this thing, because our sisters, man, are doing great things. And as a people of God, we got to lift these women up, man. And we got to support them. But we also got to allow them to create businesses from within their own. Back in the 1800s, after slavery, black women had insurance companies. They had farms. Black women were the ones who the white man had to come to for business. Did you know that? And the black women gave her authority to the black man to be a leader, but alongside her, not to take her out of the mix, but to work alongside her. And that's what this conference is all about, is getting things back according to the will of God. Because back then, nobody had no damn degree. Well, no math. Oh, do you have what degree do you have? No. And they ruled. What's so embarrassing is the same wealth we had back in the 1900s, early 1900s, that I think that 0.5% or whatever it is, that's what we have today. Even with LeBron, Oprah, Tyler, all of them combined, it's the same damn wealth. What that tells you is there were more black people wealthy than you think. These are only a handful in today's society, but back then it was a hell of a lot of them. Think about that, people. And as we always say in parting, to love yourselves and to know yourselves, and know yourselves. To know yourselves comes by spending time with God. We love you. Peace, and we'll see you soon.